The KwaZulu-Natal government has been left with no choice but to scrap its controversial plans to host the South African Music Awards at a whopping 28 million rand of taxpayers' money. The glittering ceremony was due to be held in Durban next month. Officials received backlash after announcing they would use the money from other departments to host this event. But this will no longer be happening after mounting pressure from ordinary South Africans, political parties, and let's say other critics. Let's make sense of what's happened so far. Bring in ActionSA's KZN chair, Zwakele Mncwango, who's among the people, I suppose, who made noise about this. Also joining us is jazz musician Dumza Maswana, who's also a 2023 summer nominee. To both our guests, it's lovely to have you on the program, and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Zwakele, perhaps I can begin with you as, among the parties that really brought this issue into the public domain, at least the controversy around it. The MEC, Duma, when he spoke about this earlier this week, said that the 28 million rand that's been bandied about is nothing but a misinformation campaign. Let's begin by just addressing that. Do you know where this figure comes from?
Yes, I know. I have a document from Treasurer where it's breaking down exactly how the money will be spent. And there's also total on that one. The document will start by showing how much they ask hosting fee, which is about 2.5 million rand, broadcast fee, which is about 11.5 million rand. Then there is red carpet for 2 million rand. Then there is activation for different cities for 1.8 million rand. Then there is influencer fees, which is about 420,000 rand. Then there's a gala dinner of 6.5 million rand. Then there is a goodie bags for 3 million rand. Then there is a golf day for 225,000 rand. There's a breakdown of 28 million rand. So it's clear exactly how we came to 28 million rand. It's a document from Treasurer, signed by Treasurer, because they were requesting a environment from Treasurer. But what is strange here, we must make it clear. ActionSA at no stage ever said we are against summers. We kept saying we believe summers must take place, but organizers, we are saying, can't be asking for 8 million rand to host the event. Then government escalates the amount to 28 million rand. That's where the contestation is about, to say, where this extra 20 million rand come from and why you are adding at the stage where you are even telling Treasurer, you haven't budgeted for this event. Right. You ask for environment, you move money from different programs, but you want to make more money on this event. That's where we have an issue.
Yeah, and Zwakele, to be honest, it baffles my mind too. I've been trying to think of what the logic here might have been, right? So you're right, and Duma does not actually contest this, right? The organizers only asked for 8 million rand. How on earth we went from that to 28 really is something that I also don't understand. What is the official explanation, at the very least, that the government has given, at least insofar as you get it?
Look, the strange part is this. There are oversight committees that should be probing these questions. On the 12th of October, I wrote to the chairperson of Portfolio Committee to convene a special committee meeting so that they can probe these questions to understand exactly how we arrived to this point where we are adding 20 million rand extra. Then I was also waiting for Ethekwini municipality, because on top of that, Ethekwini municipality is also committing 25 million rand towards the same event, which means this event, despite Summers asking for 8 million rand, government in the province are now budgeting for 53 million rand. Now, how do you move from 8 million rand to 53 million rand? But fortunately, we haven't seen the item on the council agenda. So meaning, it don't get passed by council, but the mayor did commit 25 million rand. Those are the questions that we ask. That is why also I wrote to President Ramaphosa to say, President, there's something wrong here. Can you please intervene? I wrote to him on 23rd of October. Hence, he had to call Duma to say, Duma, please cancel this thing because you can't explain. That's where the issue of cancellation came from. Because we are saying, I said to President, we support Summers, but we can't accept looting to happen under our watch. Because clearly, there's looting here. How to explain the gala dinner of 6.5 million rand? How to explain the goodie bags of 3 million rand? We know that SABC broadcasts Summers. SABC pays for Summers for this content. How can a department come and claim that they want to pay SABC 11.5 million rand, when we know very well that it's SABC who pays Summers, not other way around.
Yeah.
So clearly, there was a way to try to loot public fund here.
And it doesn't help that the explanations are as clear as mud. You know, they've tried to explain their way through this, and at least I still don't understand where the logic was. And Dumza, you know, the sad thing is that politics aside, it's ultimately artists here who stand to lose out the most. I mean, you're a nominee for the ceremony, and we know how important the SAMAs can be to elevate the career of any artist.
Absolutely. It is very unfortunate that we are having, all these conversations, about the SAMAs. And I would say, as an artist, if they feel that the SAMAs are targeted, by whoever, I think it's a great thing to do, to sort of to solve those problems. But we on the other side are really suffering, because this for us is more than just an event. It is very important to the industry. Summers are huge, and not just one of those events, that you can just, these are South African Music Awards, and the longest standing, awards in South Africa. And we've seen before, each and every child, they want to be at the Summers. So if there are those other things that we really don't know about, because this information for me is not really something that I know of, I'm learning as we move up about this, 28 million and 53 million. I know nothing about those things, but I just feel that it would be unfair if Summers are targeted.
Right. And, it's interesting you say that, because my next question to you was going to be, how much have you been told, not only as an artist in this country affected by this, but as a nominee, right? I mean, hopefully there is still a way to recognize you for the work that you've been able to do over the past couple of years, or the past year specifically, and holding this gathering in a different form. Has there been any kind of communication to yourselves, at least from the organizers?
Yes, there is information, that says this is what is happening now. But I mean, we didn't really get all the details that the ActionSA did this, but we were told that there's something that is happening, and then I think I saw that there was an email, that I received as a nominee. It's really disappointing, man. It's really disappointing. I don't even know. I hope that, they will do something, that these events, they happen on the same day that they are supposed to happen,
right.
And I think each and every artist who is out there, who is hearing all these figures, they are wondering, what is happening, But as artists, most of the time, we don't know what is happening behind. And maybe it's not for us. I do not know. But for us, I wish that they don't tarnish this very important.
Yeah, apologies for interrupting you there. I was agreeing with you. It's a very prestigious ceremony, as you said, one of the longest running, and it's got credibility.
I hope they don't do anything, to tarnish this event, this awards.
So to be clear, Dumza, as things stand, you don't know whether or not the Summers will carry on, at least in a different form, because all that's happened now was that Durban has said that they can't host them, but that doesn't necessarily mean the Summers can't happen, right?
Yes, I think they will happen. I think today they will send us the information. So I think today they will send us the information and tell us what is going to happen.
Fair enough. Zwakele, you began by mentioning that your call was not for these Summers to be cancelled, right? You were just flagging irregularities, at least insofar as the numbers are concerned. The sad thing, of course, is that if they are cancelled, at least in the way it's been communicated so far, the economic spin-offs, hotels, restaurants, and many other people benefiting from the Summers being in Durban will also be lost.
Look, actually, as ActionSA, we of the view that says the department should have ought to go back to the original request, because Summers, they've been there for many years. They are 29 this year. They are having 29 years. So, which means clearly, if government can go back and say, you ask for 8 million rand, we are giving you 8 million rand, ActionSA will support that. We'll support that because they know how much they wanted and why they wanted money. They know what they want. So there is no reason why you can justify to put extra million rands on this. So if government, even if the municipality, I'm a councillor there, if the municipality come and say, look, we want to set aside 8 million rand to support SAMAs because we want them to come here so that we can have a spin-off and support our creative industry. Yes, no problem. ActionSA will support that. But what we can't support is when governments try to steal public funds under the name of a good event. Because this is a Christian event that we support dearly, but we can't support looting used in this case.
Yeah. Organizers ask for a certain amount of money. Government somehow approves more than double that. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it probably is what, right? We've seen the story before. Zwakele Mncwango, thanks for your time. He's, of course, the leader of ActionSA in KwaZulu-Natal, the chairperson. Also joining us there is Dumza Maswana, a jazz artist in South Africa and a nominee for the 2023 South African Music Awards.